And welcome back to another episode of Late Night Tinkering. It's been a fucking long international break, but we are almost there, lads. Saturday, this weekend, Premier League's back up, and there's not another international break, I believe, until March of 2025.
Thank fuck.
So drink that in, eat it up. We've got the Christmas period coming up, and FPL is about to go fucking nuts. Coop Hassan, how's your international break been?
Terrible, man. Terrible. I've just been listening to Coop castrate me for absolutely no reason for some of my dubious decision making. But other than that, just boring all around, man. It's always more fun when you got something to look forward to on the weekend.
Yeah, it's been long for sure. Hassan, I mean, that's not just me. Charlie and I have both been taking our punches at you. But if you guys didn't see, we did record last week. Hassan and I gave a little bit of a preview into a potential wildcard 12 team that we liked. And that'll be coming out around the same time as this one. So looking forward to sharing that.
Well, Coop, it's actually already on Spotify. Like, I at least get it right. You know,
we got a post about it is what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, shitting on Hassan at this point, it's just like low-hanging fruit. It's not even fun anymore because it's just so like, it's just there. It's right there. But anyway, we'll see why we're shitting on him when we get into our recaps of game week 11. Coop, kick us off. How did your team do this week? Or last week, should I say?
Yeah, decent week all around. I didn't get the captaincy decision quite right, but we'll get into that a little bit. For me, it started at the back, making a pretty big decision to start Łukasz Fabianski. Instead of going double Arsenal D with Gabriel and Raya, Fabianski, a clean sheet against Everton, a great week out of him, some bonus points as well. Then moving up to the back line, we had an unfortunate injury from TAA, which forced him off early. I know you guys feel my pain with that one. Liverpool ended up keeping a clean sheet, but TAA, unfortunately, only 1 point for him. Gabriel, little 2-pointer, more the same for him, kind of frustrating. Porro, were Tottenham going to keep a clean sheet against Ipswich? No, of course not. But Porro did record what I think was one of his first returns in a very long time. A nice corner that he swung into Benton Kerr to give him an assist. So an attacking return for him, which is kind of the idea why managers have bought into him at this point in the year. So that was nice to see. Benton Kerr, don't need to get into it, but that I'm not sure if you guys saw that ban.
Oh, we saw the ban. We saw the ban.
Let's just
do you know why he got banned?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we don't endorse that late night tinkering, of course, seeing as one of our fellow podcast hosts is of the Asian variety. But we'll move on to keep going with the rest of the thing.
No, thank you for saying that, Charlie. I was just about to say, as an Asian, I found it humorous. So let's continue.
At least you could see the light in it, Coop. I'm glad.
Yeah, you're a good guy, though, Coop. So.
Moving on into the midfield. Unfortunately, it was Emile Smith-Rowe who did not make my team and sat on my bench with 11 points, unfortunately. But Mbomo, another contribution from him. Palmer, in an unfortunate showing for him. It was a question the whole week of whether or not he was going to be fit. I had a feeling he was going to play. He did end up getting in. No contributions for him, unfortunately. In Saka as well. He also played, but it was another disappointing outing from Arsenal, and that team, Arsenal, is really going to be looking to rebound post this international break. But saving me in the midfield was Bruno Fernandes, one of the guys I brought in with my transfers. Bruno Fernandes giving me 17 points, 2 goals, an assist, and 3 bonus.
A goal and 2 assists.
A goal and 2 assists. 3 contributions in that beautiful win against Leicester. That was Nistelrooy's sending off. Hopefully more of the same for Fernandes when Amorim takes over coming up. And then up front, along with that Bruno Fernandes transfer in, unfortunately came Cody Gakpo as well. Gakpo had the feeling, I had the feeling that he might start. I think he'd banged in the international game the week before getting sent off. Or before getting subbed in, actually, or subbed off for Darwin, that was. And he had a contribution in 3 bonus the week before in the Premier League in what was only one of his few starts at the time. Unfortunately, he saw the bench, Of course, he ended up getting some minutes and doing a nice little 20 minutes of cardio for me to give me a point. Solanke was my captain. It was a difficult decision last week for people that didn't have Haaland or Salah. I understand that probably doesn't apply to a lot of people. A lot of people probably have one or both of them. I definitely still should have Salah. I've talked about that. Whatever. Solanke, nothing from him. It was kind of an up and down game. Thought that he was maybe going to have to get subbed off early with an injury. Ended up looking like what he scored was a goal, but you could kind of tell from his initial reaction that something wasn't right. Clearly a handball. And he stayed out there for 90, but no returns. But it was Cunha saving me up front. He's really been an MVP for me. 12 points, including his bonus. And so finishing on 59 points, a slight red, but still inside the top 300K.
Nice, Coop. Thank you for that extended lineup.
He went player by player.
Forever on that. Guy could have gone forever. Luckily, it only took 5 minutes. But Hassan's definitely won't take that long. We'll just say that. I guess I'll go next, seeing as I had the second best score between us three. 58 points, just one shy of Coop's. Fabianski in goal for me as well with a nice 9-pointer. I played 4-4-2 this week, and Robinson and Aït-Nouri coming in clutch with a couple clean sheets for me. Trent being subbed off at halftime or before halftime was brutal. Midfield, Mo Salah, 14 points. Unfortunately, didn't get the captain's armband from me that week, but we may have learned our lesson there. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Buonanotte with a 1-pointer and a yellow card to take him to 5 yellow cards, which means he will definitely be on my bench this week. Burmo assist, Bowen nothing, and then up front captained the big man from Norway, and just a really brutal last minute yellow card by him. We were on for 8 points. We were on for 8 points, which it's okay. 8 points, goal, couple bonus, and then the guy just lost his head, got a yellow card. Took him down from 2 bonus to no bonus and a yellow card, costing me 6 points, putting me in a horrible mood, and obviously Solanke with 2 points. So yeah, 58 points, another green of about 150K. We're inside the top 1.5 mil and looking for a big push now in the next few weeks.
Hey, I'm happy for you. I was really happy when Haaland got that yellow too. That was hilarious. I wish everybody could have seen your reaction at the same time. I think I called you on FaceTime right after it happened too. He was fucking fuming. He couldn't believe it. He was screaming, how is that a yellow, when Haaland was just absolutely just tugging on the guy's shirt out of anger, not even during the play.
Dude, it wasn't a yellow. I'll stand by that.
It was a yellow. It was a yellow, John.
It's okay. He had his hand on his throat.
Dude, shut the fuck up. Go.
It's okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I have nothing to talk about, really. I mean, I was hoping to build off last week when I was finally back in the top 3 mil. I was sitting at 2.5 after a pretty big green because the Spurs boys were electric. 37 points. I don't even know. I think outside of Smith Rowe. I mean, Smith Rowe got me a return.
You got your 30 points.
Yeah, Smith Rowe got me a return, and Haaland got me a return, and Mbeumo got an assist, right? Is that what the return was for Mbeumo? Yeah, it was an assist. Just garbage all around, man. Just garbage. I'm back down to 3.5 mil. This is just easily the worst start to a season I've had in a long time. At least since I started caring and actually.
Would you still consider the start of this? We're in game week 11 now, buddy.
I know, right? We're almost a third. We are almost a third of the way through, and I'm just doing terribly. But I'm excited. I believe everything's going to turn starting game week 12.
I will mention to the viewers that you, sometime early this week, stated very boldly that you will finish in the top 100K. So
I plan on it. That was. You don't change your plan just because it's not going as you want it to 11 games into the season. I mean, I said before the season I'm going for a top 100K. I'm going to say right now I'm going for top 100K. Till we get to around game week 30 and I'm still 3.5 mil. That's going to be when we end that plan. But yeah, I mean, another terrible game week for me. I don't really know what to say other than I'm looking forward to game week 12. It was a long international break where I got to think about my actions and my decision making. I took a hard look in the mirror as to what type of FPL manager and man that I am, and I decided that I'm going to keep fucking fighting.
There we
So
go.
enough
There
of
we go.
this. Let's look to the future.
Yes, sir. Preach. All right. Let's start with your team, Hassan, United. Amorim coming in. Looks like change of formation. They're going to be playing his 3-4-3 system that he's adopted. 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, 2 in midfield, 2 kind of cams with the striker up front. What are your expectations for the team and FPL assets we can consider this early? And I'll start by saying that if you're looking to transfer in United players right now, I think the only one you can transfer in is Bruno.
Yeah,
I think everyone else on the team is minutes risk until we kind of see who Amorim likes in his system, who he likes playing the wing backs, who he likes kind of playing in midfield, especially who he likes in that other kind of cam spot. If it's Rashford, then maybe Rashford becomes a good option. Will he start Højlund up front? Who knows? But that's my opinion. I think Bruno's the only kind of one I would even consider touching right now. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, so there was a lot of talk because early in his like interviews and everything that he was saying, he was kind of talking about how he can't just take his sporting team and bring it to Man United. He's got to like work with the team and kind of fit into the players that he has at his disposal. And so there was a little bit of early, I guess, talk about is he actually going to immediately switch to his favored 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1, whatever you want to call it, or is he going to kind of try and have the same principles and style of play with a formation that kind of suits more the Man United players, I would say, in the squad right now, which was probably sticking with, a 4-2-3-1, which is kind of what basically Ten Hag was playing. But there was a clip that came out that, and in a training clip, and inside that clip, it was pretty obvious he was playing the 3-4-3. So unless he's doing some Arteta backhanded tactics and he just wants Ipswich to think he's going to play a 3-4-3, I think he actually is just going to play a 3-4-3. And like you said, I don't think anyone is guaranteed minutes right now other than Bruno. I would like to go out and say I think Højlund's going to be the striker. I don't think Rashford's going to be at least the starting striker. But like Rashford was not at international duty, so he got to see Rashford, I guess, in training a little bit more than Højlund. So for this Ipswich game coming up, he could just go with Rashford this time around. But I think over multiple weeks, we'll see that Højlund is going to be the starting striker. And then I think the biggest thing is the wingbacks, right? Like Mazraoui right now at 4.6. Man United have pretty good long-term fixtures outside of playing City and Arsenal away. In the next 8 or so fixtures, their fixtures are pretty good. Mazraoui's great value at 4.6, but you just can't say he's going to play, right? Like I really don't know because Amorim's wingbacks at Sporting were not the type of player that Mazraoui kind of is. They're more dynamic, more physical, more fast because they have to hug the touchline. So it'll be interesting to see. I would say I agree with you, Charlie. Right now, at least from a fantasy perspective, the only person I would consider getting is Bruno Fernandes, and I do expect the attack to get a little bit better. It can't get worse. And he's already been playing well in this pretty poor attack in terms of underlying numbers. So if I was a Bruno owner, I would definitely hold for now. I don't know if I would go and immediately buy him if I didn't own him, but he does have good fixtures in the short term, and it is someone, and he's in form, right? He has what is it now, 24 points or something like that in the last 2 weeks, 27 points in the last 2 weeks. So yeah, he's definitely an option, but I wouldn't say you have to go and get him immediately.
Yeah, similar thoughts as you guys. If there's one guy to bring in, it's Bruno. He's the only guy who doesn't really have a question mark over his head in terms of his minutes. But in terms of what Amorim's going to bring to the team, I mean, I think he's going to bring a huge boost to the team all around. And thankfully for him, United have a couple pretty favorable Prem fixtures to, kind of hopefully instill some more confidence in the team because it will get a little bit more difficult for the next 2 weeks after that. And when it comes to figuring out the rotation and who he wants to play, I think it's going to take a little while to find out. I mean, I'm going to go as far as to say it honestly might take a good 4 to 5 match weeks to figure that out, especially with United playing midweek football as well. It might be a little bit hard to determine, what is kind of just a normal rotation in terms of moving guys in and out and making sure that some of them aren't playing too many minutes, and how much of it is going to be figuring out where guys are going to thrive the most. So when it comes to assets to have right now, it's Bruno for me. I'll certainly be a keeper with him in my team. And I'm with you, Hassan, as well. I think that Højlund will be the man up front. And, Amorim's a guy he's had a lot of success. He's kind of risen up the manager ranks quickly and had success everywhere he's gone so far. Of course, it gets more difficult as you move further up and as you get to the upper echelons of football like the Premier League is. But, he'll certainly be hoping for Højlund to maybe become the next Gyökeres even. So right now, it's Bruno for me. I'll certainly be a keeper with him in my team. And I'm with you, Hassan, as well. I think that Højlund will be the man up front. And, Amorim's a guy he's had a lot of success. He's kind of risen up the manager ranks quickly and had success everywhere he's gone so far. Of course, it gets more difficult as you move further up and as you get to the upper echelons of football like the Premier League is. But, he'll certainly be hoping for Højlund to maybe become the next Gyökeres even. So,
hey, Coop, that was well said for someone who doesn't know ball.
Well, you know what happens when you play Fantasy Premier League, right?
Yeah, you learn.
Yeah, you learn a lot more as well, and that's what's been happening. And as I learn more, hopefully that rank keeps soaring as well.
Maybe you'll learn to not take punts on Cody Gakpo.
I will. We don't need to get into that now, but let's just say there will be an unhappy FaceTime call if those Liverpool lineups come out and he's on the bench again.
Dude, I can't wait. I actually can't wait. When Coop gets angry, it's the best part of the weekend when he's like, dude, how, why?
Love it.
Anyways, Charlie, moving on from Man United. What about fixture swings in general in 12? Because it is a pretty big fixture swing week in terms of a lot of teams are gonna get really good fixtures. A lot of teams are gonna get some bad ones. Yeah. Who do you think? Like, who are you planning on targeting? Because I think you're probably, your mind might not be in the right place. So I just want to make sure.
I mean, look, the two big teams that have great fixtures coming up, and I think if you wildcard in 12, these are the players you're likely to target. I mean, it's Chelsea and Arsenal, right? Arsenal.
Wait, can we pause for a second? I just want to bring up something because you brought up the whole wildcard in 12 thing. Your wildcard 12 team was absolute trash. I just want to put that out there. To anyone that saw it on Instagram, it's horrible.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people saw it because he commented his team to every single FPL. Unfortunately, a lot of people
are trying attraction for the channel.
Yeah. What are you, a child?
Even FPL Arena replied. He said, "That's a thing."
And hey, are you trusting FPL Arena?
Dude, guy's a dog. I'll tell you that.
Anyways,
but you don't like it because it had Haaland. That's literally the only reason.
That's not why I don't like it.
And because there wasn't one defender over 6 mil. That's it.
There wasn't one defender over 4.5.
Yeah, there was
4.7.
Okay, the 4.7 doesn't count.
Dude, I don't know why you're shitting on the rotational back line.
I'm not shitting on it.
It's the threemium FPL.
I just think it's the wrong threemium.
Salah, Haaland, bang. 3 best players in FPL, that's all I need.
We'll see.
A little rotation with Bruno. Bruno is in there as well.
I know.
You should have been happy about that.
I said you could downgrade Bruno and upgrade some of your defenders. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. I just want to let
it's the same.
I just want to let the viewers know that
Chelsea and Arsenal are the teams that you're targeting, right? And
yeah.
Arsenal, look, I don't own Arsenal defenders. I'm a little bit worried about not owning Arsenal defenders, I will be honest, as much as I'm trying to play it cool. I'm definitely worried about not having at least one of their defenders. I probably wouldn't double up yet. I know Riot dropped in price last night, but I would give it a couple of weeks. But their underlying numbers are still good. They have good fixtures. They're a defense-first team. Like, I would definitely want one of their defenders. Midfield, I do think Odegaard coming back changes the complexion of the team. I think he was sorely missed in their little run that they've had, their kind of downturn in results that they've been seeing recently. I don't think it's a great FPL asset, if I'm being honest, at 8.2 mil. I think it's pretty. And then there's great value for money there, but it's going to improve the team. So Saka and Havertz back on the radar. Probably Saka more than Havertz, to be honest. Although Havertz has kind of been overlooked for the season. I think he's not a bad option. He's in a tough price range where you'd probably rather have Isak than Havertz if you're going for one of the 8 mil,
Yeah.
8 to 8.5 mil range.
I'd even say Nicholas Jackson.
And he's about the same price as Nico as well. I mean, I would probably say Havertz over Nico, and then Chelsea. I think Sanchez as defenders, good option. I think one of their defenders, probably Colwell, is a good option at 4.5.
Agreed.
Obviously, Cole Palmer. He's probably the second most owned asset in the game right now, behind Haaland. I think him, Palmer, and Salah are the top three. And then, Nico Jackson's a fine option. I do think there's better options up front in terms of price, and he's on 4 yellows, which does scare me.
That's the biggest thing, honestly. Like, you just don't know which game he's going to miss.
Yeah, but I mean, in a way, it's kind of nice because you know which game he's going to be rested. Like, it's not a bad thing. I mean, look, obviously it's not ideal, but once he gets the yellow, you know which game he's going to be rested over the period, which isn't a terrible thing. And then if I'm punting for Chelsea, I kind of like Pedro Neto as an option. He's played 90 the last 3 minutes. And, 6.2 mil if you want a cheap way into the Chelsea attack. He's a very, very good player as well. He's an excellent player. He might be one of the better wingers in the league.
This guy is just out here stealing my thoughts. Like, that was actually just, that was all me. If we didn't have that discussion prior to recording this episode, I don't know if you would have brought Pedro Neto up.
I would have brought Pedro Neto up.
That is ridiculous.
I think it's a good option. And I know he's your differential this week.
Dude, don't let them know. It was supposed to be a surprise.
Right, edit that bit out.
Oh my.
No, anyways, keep going.
But yeah, that's what I think. Those two teams, if you want to target, they're good options. And I mean, they're going to be heavily owned over the next few weeks, so I think you've got to have at least one from each team in there. I have no Arsenal right now, or no Chelsea. I'm still debating bringing Palmer in, but we'll save that for our tinkering.
Yeah, we will. William?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of fixture swings coming up, there's a lot going on across the league. Things are starting to look up, hopefully at least, for Chelsea and Arsenal. But there are a couple teams in particular I want to focus on that you guys didn't touch on as much. One of them is Newcastle. So Newcastle do play Liverpool at home in 3 weeks' time. But aside from that one fixture, they have West Ham at home, Crystal Palace away, Brentford away, Leicester at home, Ipswich away. So things are looking good if you're looking to bring in Newcastle players. I think that they were a team that were kind of struggling earlier in the year. I think there were some issues kind of with their owners. There was some sort of turmoil higher up in the organization off the pitch that seemed like it might have had a little bit of a trickle-down effect into the way that they were playing. But they seem to kind of have found their identity again. The win at home against Arsenal is sure to boost their confidence. And I think that aside from having Arsenal and Chelsea assets in your team, as I think you should, having some Newcastle guys sprinkled in there as well. I think the main guy for them that I'm looking at probably won't have a week is no, I was going to mention Isak. I'll get to Hall, but I was going to mention Isak. Believe he scored in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, that's a screamer, Lewis Hall.
He's been doing this ever since he transferred to mid.
Screamer by Lewis Hall. What an effort!
I mean, I know he's I know he's British, but the obsession is a little over the top.
Very over the top.
Anyway, getting
always
back,
have a ginger in your team. That's the rule in FPL.
Okay.
And
anyway, getting back to it, it's Isak. Gordon is also a guy who I look at potentially. He's only around 10% owned, and as Charlie has very nicely said for me already, if there's one defender who I'm looking at in that squad right now. It's Lewis Hall. He'll probably be coming in for me this week. And then one other team that I want to touch on quickly is Wolves. Wolves got they got their first win of the campaign before the international break. So going into the break with some confidence. They have Fulham away this week, and then they have Bournemouth at home, Everton away, West Ham away, Ipswich at home, Leicester away. So the fixtures are looking really nice for Wolves. It's honestly looking like an area of their schedule where if they don't start making up points here, where relegation could potentially be something in their future. But in my opinion, this Wolves, there are definitely 3 teams in the Premier League this year that are worse than Wolves. And I don't think that Wolves are going to be relegated. I think they have too much quality up front, especially in Matthijs Cunha. Jorgen Strand Larsen has been great for them this year so far as well. And if it comes to one defensive piece, he's been heavily talked about in a lot of wildcard teams, but it's Ryan Aït-Nouri. He's risen in price a little bit now. He's sitting around 4.7, but with the attacking threat that he offers as well, he's a guy that I would love to have in my team and that I would recommend a lot of you to have in your team, especially if you're looking at a Wolves defender. And so those are kind of some of the guys that I'm looking at. And all in all, it's going to be very interesting to see how things shake out.
You guys are missing 2 really nice fixture swings, and I don't really know why you guys are missing this, but Brighton and Bournemouth. Like you have
teams we like, so we're just handing them off to you.
Okay.
They're bitching. Why don't you talk about them?
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Well,
we're so stupid. We didn't know.
I just couldn't believe it that neither of you guys brought up Brighton or Bournemouth. I mean,
Hassan, we literally talked about it. We planned it. I take 2, Coop takes 2, you take 2.
That is not true. Do not lie to them, Charlie. Do not lie to them. But yeah, I mean, Brighton have a nice little fixture swing. Not the best fixture this week in particular, but because they play Bournemouth away this week, actually. So I think that's a better fixture for Bournemouth, obviously at home. But after this, Southampton at home, Fulham away, Leicester away, Palace at home, West Ham away, Brentford at home. Like that's like 6 very nice fixtures. And João Pedro's back, which, yes, like that could shake up the team a little bit in terms of minutes, but it just makes their entire offense that much better. And you saw what he could do when he came on. He got the goal, got the assist against City in that turnaround. So I would say going for Brighton players is also a fairly good idea. If I was going to go with the attack, it would be João Pedro for me. They have so many attackers. They have such a deep squad. Danny Welbeck is probably locked as well, but Ruder's playing really well. I have a feeling João Pedro, I think João Pedro is Hertzler's guy. And he said it, Hertzler has said it a few times in his interviews, talking about how João Pedro is kind of their magic in that squad. And so I think it would be tough to see João Pedro not starting most games. I think he will start most games, but once there's midweek, maybe he'll get rested in one of the midweek fixtures or something. But I would just say João Pedro, Danny Welbeck are probably 2 very good options. And then I also don't think their defense is that bad either. Even though their defense hasn't been great this season as a team, those fixtures are pretty tasty. And they have Dunk right now is 4.4 million. Not only is he locked to play 90, he is also an aerial threat. He gets a few goals per season. And then also Van Heck is locked for 90. And Coop knows how much I like Van Heck since I put him in our wildcard 12 team.
Van Heck is just weird.
Yeah, I conceded on that one, and I'm kind of regretting it.
No. Why? He's 4.5 million. 4.5 mil. He has a good rotation with other players. If you're gonna do the whole 5 at the back that are all under 4.5 mil, or around that price range, I would say he's a good person to have in that rotation. And if you're going a little bigger at the back and you want someone cheaper to rotate for, let's say, if you're going to keep Trent and he has some bad fixtures in the next few weeks, you can then put in Van Heck very easily. So Brighton's one of them, obviously Bournemouth another one. And I think the very obvious choices for Bournemouth, you have one in each defense, midfield, and the forward line. I think Kirkes has started most games for Bournemouth, and they're pretty solid. and then you have Semenyo, obviously, and you have that beautiful man up top, Mr. Barbosa, Evan Nilsson. Those are two teams that they just they have cheap players. They're definitely going to have people that enable you to get the premiums that you want, and they have great fixtures. So if you have spare transfers, especially where you can kind of shuffle the cheaper people in your team, I would definitely target Bournemouth and Brighton.
I'll throw in a wild card for Brighton and say Estupinian at left back.
Gets forward,
dude. 5 mil with Kadioglu out. I think he's pretty much nailed, and he's a good player.
Dude, Estupi was so good for FPL 2 seasons ago. Yeah, it was incredible.
He's a good player. He would be a wild card. I want to see a couple more weeks just to make sure that he's properly nailed, because he's been in and out with injuries, I think. But
yeah,
good option.
Yeah,
I'm still mourning Faraday. I have no comments at this time.
Yeah,
he might have come in for me this week if he didn't get injured.
Coop loves Kadioglu a little too much.
He would already be in there for me.
Dude, you transferred him in first moment you got.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about something which is maybe one of the keys to success in FPL, and it's captaincy options. I would say week on week, there's 3 guys you're probably looking to captain most weeks. Haaland, Palmer, Salah. Who do you like this week and why? Hassan.
I'm going to keep mine really simple. I think it's just Mo. He's the most informed. They're playing Southampton. What is Southampton? Are they 19th or 20th? Or are they higher? Am I just stupid?
No, they're one of those.
Yeah. I know Palmer plays Leicester as well, so they're both playing. They both have really good fixtures. Mo's just in better form. And I personally just think Mo at this point in their career is a better player. I don't think that's too much of a hot take. And he's just money right now. Like he just, after the 70th minute, it's like he's guaranteed a goal count. Like the defenders just can't keep up with him anymore. And Slot really doesn't rest. I thought Slot this season would rest Salah a little bit more. He's a little bit older. They have young forwards, like especially in games, even sometimes when they're up 2-0 and it's the 75th minute, he doesn't take him out. He takes out Luis Diaz, or he takes out Darwin, or he takes out Jota. It doesn't matter. Mo always plays, and he always returns in the last 10 minutes. So, if he gets 1 or 2 returns early, you could just pencil yourself in for another one in the last 10 minutes just to shore up the 3 bonus points and just a double-digit haul. So for me, I would go with Mo. I wouldn't argue with anyone that wants to go with Palmer. Palmer's fine. I think I would argue with someone that wants to go with Haaland, even though it's Haaland. Yes, he's fine, but with the fixtures Mo and Palmer have, I just don't see a reason why you'd captain Haaland unless you don't have Mo or Palmer. So,
good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good argument. I can't critique going with Mo. For some reason, that's why I feel like Mo is not going to be the answer to the captaincy debate this week. But that's a good point that you make about Mo playing 90 every game and him never getting subbed out. I think one of his only blanks this year was the match away at Palace. He got subbed off. I forget when it was. I think it was sometime in the 70th, but that was one of his few blanks. And as you mentioned, as I have watched every week as I have watched every week, he's getting a lot of his contributions now past the 70th minute. So going with Mo Salah is certainly a good decision. For me though, I'm gonna go out there and say that if I had all 3, if I was going to embody what Charlie thinks is the best way to play FPL, having those 3 guys, that's not actually what his team looks like. Maybe it will. We'll see. But I would say this week that I would actually captain Haaland. Haaland's not a guy in my team who I have the option to captain, but I just think that City's going to come out emphatically after this international break. I know we said it before leading up to it, City's going to turn it around. There's no way they're going to lose 3. There's no way they're not going to win from 3 in a row. There's no way they're not going to win from 4 in a row. And that didn't happen, obviously. And there is a lot there. Not like there's ever pressure on Pep's job or anything. I believe he's about to sign an extension if he didn't already. But I think that Pep is really going to be kind of motivated by this unique challenge that's been presented to him. It's something that he hasn't really faced domestically with Man City the last couple years, and it's still a squad, and it's a squad especially getting back a lot of guys that are going to be healthy after this international break that I think is going to be scary. And that is why I would go that is why I would go with Haaland. In terms of other guys in that team, I know we didn't touch on City at all, but with all those guys returning, coming back healthy, if you had Foden in your team at one point or had Foden, I would honestly drop the ball on Haaland I would honestly drop the ball with Foden, with KDB coming back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it's funny with cell phone.
I thought you meant you would captain Foden over Haaland if you have both, and I was.
No, but I don't know. Maybe,
I mean, you've done it before, so.
I didn't have Haaland in my team then.
Yeah, but you still captain Foden,
and it wasn't a bad decision. And I'll stand by that.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was a good decision.
Whatever. We can argue about captaincy decisions all you want.
Yeah.
There's a lot less that's worked out for you so far this season than just captaincy decisions.
Okay, relax, Coop. No need to be so aggressive. Hey, let Charlie answer. Okay,
no. I'm going to say Palmer's a good shot too, but I have a feeling that it's going to be Haaland this week who is going to take the cake.
So I do have all three in my team right now.
No, you just made the move?
Well, I'm going to make it. I'm going to bring Palmer in. But I have all three, and I will be captaining Erling Haaland. I think they absolutely batter Spurs. I'm predicting 5 or 6-1 this week, and Erling is going to get a hat-trick. Spurs are probably missing Van der Ven. They may be missing Romero. So they could be starting Ben Davies and Dragusin at the back. KDB's back. Spurs have looked horrible defensively recently. City at home, need a win, coming off international break. They're going to batter them. Easy choice, Erling Haaland. And Palmer plays in the early game on Saturday, so he's an absolute...
Hey, a wise man once said.
Never back
I think it was Gandhi, right?
It
was Gandhi. Gandhi said never back the early game.
Never back the early game.
I don't
Gandhi, though?
Well,
I never saw Cole Palmer play.
I don't think he's seen any of them play. Look, I don't disagree that Haaland's I think there's going to be goals in that game. I think my reasoning behind it is that Mo is just in so much better form, and at the end of the day, Southampton away is better than Spurs at home. No matter how bad Spurs' defense is, playing Southampton is better than playing Spurs. So,
dude, you say Haaland's in bad form? He just scored a hat-trick against international powerhouse Azerbaijan.
No. Also, here's my other reasoning. I think Mo and Palmer are more likely to get bonus points. So I think Haaland is probably more likely to score 8 points, whereas I think Mo and Palmer are more likely to score 14. I think Haaland's objectively the more solid pick. In most cases, he will score 1 goal or something and get you somewhere between 6 and 8 points, depending on his bonus points. Whereas Mo and Palmer, they are more likely to, in my opinion, get multiple returns, especially with the fixtures they have this week. And they don't need as much to get bonus points. And on top of that, they're midfielders, so a goal is an extra point. So to me, that all those combinations combined just make it so that I just think one of them is probably better than Haaland. I would say you could make a case that Haaland over Palmer. I can't imagine you, Charlie, making the exact same mistake again as you did last week when you chose to fucking captain Haaland. Mo absolutely just made you regret that decision. And I think it might not happen this time. You're right. Spurs defense has looked incredibly sus. Man City should come out and just absolutely batter them. They have to get a win. They've been on this slide, right? No way a Pep team loses 5 in a row, right? But they've always caused City problems. And I bet you Son's going to return. And maybe he'll return more than Haaland. And you know who I have in my team? That beautiful man, Heung-min. So I'm going to stick with Salah.
We know you hate Haaland, so it's not a surprise.
You guys both have Haaland. If I was smart this week and I wanted both of you guys to look stupid, Oh yeah, Coop doesn't have Holland, but you
Just
do.
weird.
And if I was smart this week and I wanted both of you guys to look stupid, I would captain Holland as well, because then you know he's gonna fucking blank. So,
All
that's
right,
it.
that's enough of your
Yeah,
talk.
it's unfortunate that you don't have him in real life, so that you can actually do that for all the people that are non-Holland owners.
Yeah, I mean, I still have him in my squad technically.
Let's talk about tinkering, because I know we're all making moves this week.
Yeah.
Coop, go.
All right.
Coop has no idea what stupid
He
move
has
he's
no
making
idea
this
what he's
week.
doing.
No, he never has an idea. It
I'll
just
start.
somehow always works out.
Think about it, Coop. I already made.
It doesn't always work out. You can't say that. I brought in Foden. What did he give me? I don't even want to count it up. He gave me maybe 10 points in 5 weeks.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah. So not every decision works out for me. I will say moving forward that I'm gonna be bringing a different level of focus and a different level of passion.
What about a different level of knowledge?
Well, knowledge as well. But, knowledge comes with passion and focus.
I think it comes with experience, bro.
So the knowledge will follow, but regardless, that
passion.
That is kind of stemming from the fact that I brought in Cody. I was real. I let my emotions get the best of me. I was missing. I was missing getting some attacking returns from Liverpool, and I figured, why didn't I get in on Cody? Why don't I get in on another guy who's going to have some returns? Unfortunately, as I mentioned, he didn't play last week.
All right, well, get to your tinkering, man.
I will.
Yeah, you've been so verbose this episode.
Guys have a lot to say.
I will. I just want to
transfers.
I just want to say really quickly before I get into my transfers that Liverpool are not a team this year that's really battered anybody. I think they're scoring about 2 goals a game, which is obviously impressive, especially if they're coming out of it with wins. But the amount of goals that Salah is involved in is it's disturbing, quite frankly. In the way that they play, in the way that they play, it doesn't really. There's no reason to suggest that percentage is going to slip.
So, are you bringing in Mo?
No, I'm not bringing in. Okay, I'll get into my transfers. I'm not bringing in Mo because I only have 2 transfers since I brought in Gakpo, and there's some difficult decisions for me to make this week. Pedro Porro will certainly be seeing the bench against Man City. What happens if your defender allows 6 goals? Is that -3?
Like something like that, yeah, bro.
Well, regardless, that would cancel out any attacking return he may have. But for me, it looks like Trent's not going to play. Unfortunately, I know we talked about this in the wild card about needing to have a Liverpool guy on your team. I thought about it a little bit more. I don't feel like I need to replace Trent with Van Dijk or Konate. I'll probably be bringing in Lewis Hall for Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's going
to
it's either Hall or Aït-Nouri for me, but I have a very good feeling this week that Newcastle are going to keep a clean sheet at home against West Ham, and that'll leave a little bit of money in my bank. I'll have 2 transfers again going into the week after, but that will probably be it. That will probably be it for me. Still debating who to start between Solanke and Smith Rowe, but at the end of the day, for me, it really comes down to hoping and praying that Cody Gakpo will be in the starting line.
Good, Charlie. I'm going to speed this up.
Yeah, go.
So, I'm not going to take 8 minutes like Mr. William over here. Basically, the decision for me is I want to sell Haaland because I want to get Palmer and Mo, and that gives me just basically an extra premium. And then I think I'm going to downgrade Trent, not to Lewis Hall, though. For me, if I do it, it'll probably be to either Aït-Nouri or Konate. The good thing about Konate is at some point I want to transition from out of double Arsenal defense into double Liverpool defense because Konate's cheaper. So then whenever I get Trent back, I would actually upgrade one of my Arsenal defenders to Trent. But the fixtures right after Southampton aren't great, so I might just be tempted by Ryan Aït-Nouri. I've been a little bit late to this party. I don't think I've missed too much. I think he still has good fixtures. So that could be where I go. So it's just going to be probably getting Holland out, bringing in Palmer and Mo for Smith Rowe and Brennan Johnson, finally getting rid of my Spurs assets, by the way. And then also selling Trent either to Konate or Ryan Ait-Nuri. And it will take me a hit to do it, but I think it's a hit worth taking. So
wait, you're taking a hit this week after all this shit you were giving C?
First of all, I gave CJ shit for a completely different, not for taking the hit. I gave him shit for planning endlessly and then taking a hit to bring in Mbuemo. I'm taking a hit to bring in Mo. Like those are two very different things.
All right, all I'm saying is you better hope Mo you better hope Mo doesn't play.
We already know who you're captaining, so
yeah. If I bring in Mo, I'd be captaining Mo. Yeah. So I'm taking a hit to bring in my captain, which it makes it feel even better.
You're also taking out Haaland for a hit. Anyway, we're not getting into it. I've already made 2 transfers early in the week. I have 2 frees. I took out Trent for Lewis Hall. And then I downgraded DCL, finally got him out of my fucking team for João Pedro.
You didn't want to keep him for one more week?
Dude, honestly, he'll probably score this week now. He's honestly guaranteed to score against Brentford at home. And then I have 3.2 mil in the bank, which is just enough to go Boomo to Cole Palmer for
You're
a
going to
hit.
be sweating, though. You're going to be sweating for 2 weeks.
I think I'm going to do it. Or I either do it this week or I wait another week because Boomo.
I don't think it's worth a hit, man.
Well, this is my decision. So.
Well, no, I'm just telling you. Like, you don't have to take my advice. I'm 3.5 mil in the world. You're 1.5. You're clearly better.
So you're going to lose 8 points on Boomo transfers only.
Well, no, because I got him in until 50 that week. So
he didn't lose points the week he brought him in.
I know.
Yeah.
The hit worked out.
Just because he returned doesn't mean that those points weren't.
It does, because I would have had fucking Trossard, who scored 2 points. So it did work out. It literally gave me 9 points.
But it's still worse than if you had planned better and not.
No, because then I wouldn't have had some of the other guys. So it doesn't work like that.
What like Trossard? You wouldn't have had him.
Well, I already brought him in, so that's just irrelevant.
Okay. Look, dude, hits happen, Coop. Like, it's okay. Like, his first hit worked. I'll give him that.
Wait,
this second hit, I don't know if it's worth it.
Should I take a hit then? I mean,
okay, dude. Once again,
hold up. No. I'm not being a sheep. Calm down. Listen to this hypothetical.
Oh my god.
Listen to this.
Here we go again. You guys know that meme? Oh shit! Here we go again.
Go quick. We're running on time. This is what happens when I'm not here. These guys have an hour 10 episode of picking 15 players for a wild card.
All right, let's go, Coop. What would you potentially take a hit for?
Forget about it. I was just thinking about potentially using both of my transfers, getting Isak in for Gakpo, but I feel like I kind of just have to eat the decision with Gakpo and hope that he starts.
For what it's worth, I think Gakpo is going to start this week, and he has Southampton. So then at that point, I think it's fine if you keep him. But I really, really hope he doesn't because I can't wait to see your reaction. But anyways, moving on from that, the final thing. No one won it last week because we did amend a rule that someone has to return.
Yeah.
In order to be victorious, has to return. Differential of the week. It's still, I believe, 2-1-1 with Charlie leading. Right? Is that correct? 2-1-1. Because last week was okay. And Charlie, who's your differential of the week? You already spoiled mine. You already spoiled it. Mine's Pedro Neto.
Okay.
So I think Pedro Neto is a great pick. He's in form. Chelsea have good fixtures. He's returned in 2 of his last 3. He's looking fucking great, and they play well. So I'm going to go with Pedro Neto.
I'm going to go with...
Don't make it so obvious that you're looking this up right now. Like, at least come a little bit prepared.
I was thinking about De Lima, but I'm not sure.
You got to go De Lima.
Coop, you go.
No.
Hey, do it for the banner of our Twitter page. Believe in that man. He is a bad man. Believe.
Nah.
Barbosa.
I'm going with Lewis Hall.
Oh my God, that is so awful. There's no way he's under 5%.
Please, hopefully he is. Yes, 4.1%.
Bro, you are not going with Lewis Hall, bro.
Yes, I am. Why, you scared of him?
No, that's garbage, bro. Okay,
Yes,
that's great. Hey, we
He's-
know Charlie's not winning this week.
He's
Cool.
going to get 15 points.
I like DeLima a lot, but this one comes straight from the heart as a Liverpool fan, as a fantasy manager. Let's run it back. Cody Gakpo.
Oh, he's doubling down.
Doubling down.
He's doubling down. I love it, Coop. I love that you're doubling down on your shitty pick. That's always.
We'll see how shitty it was.
You know what's better than losing once with a shitty pick? Losing twice. What was it that AJ said? Charlie, could you please quote him? Because you have the British accent, I don't.
What did he say?
It felt so nice, I had to do it twice. After he won the belts again.
Oh, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a pussy.
Anyways, hey, fantastic pick, fellas. Other than Charlie, Lewis Hall's garbage. We should make a rule that you can't go for defenders. That's just boring, man. Like, come on.
It's not boring. It's
It's
exciting.
not boring. James Justin was exciting.
To the viewers, I'm sorry that you had to listen to Coop more than usual. He was especially verbose. I think he was just really excited to be back. And honestly, I can get behind that. He had a lot of passion for this episode. He's been waiting a long time. He looks forward to to making these episodes. He's getting into the swing of it. He's still got that rookie love. You know what I mean? So
Does the love die out a bit? Is that what you're trying to say?
when you're 3.5 mil, the love dies out. the love dies out.
It's understandable.
Unlike you guys, I actually had a very nice weekend not thinking about whether I have another red arrow. So
The love never dies. Boys,
the-
the love never dies. They should make that into a song. Love never dies. But anyway, let's have a fucking great weekend. We can agree on greens all round.
no.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
I don't want Coop to
We're the
green.
only two that got.
Besides the 3-5 guy.
I don't want Coop to green.
You only need 20 points to get a green, so that's not hard.
Hey, it gets easier for me every week. I don't want Coop to green. I honestly don't care if Charlie greens. I don't want Coop to green.
All right, that's fine.
That's how I'm ending this episode.
It's kind of bad karma, though.
Okay. Cody Gakpo has noted that.
Yeah, yes. All right, fellas.
cool.
Cheers. We'll see you next week.